in there, you fondle some balls, you find us a number, and we'll tell you what it is you're going to have to do as punishment for thinking that the boys in blue, the MP squad at least,
What do we
be
got?
able to pull it out. What do we got? What number's here? 13 for Charlie. I think we've seen that one.
Impersonate some no else on the... I believe it's someone, but Ken misspelled it. Impersonate someone else on this panel. I think you just sit down and then you do it. Not right
What
now.
what number did you get?
Number
4.
Oh, you have to go dress up as the dinosaur.
All right, we'll see you soon. So what we're doing now, I guess we can kind of recap on what the hell actually happened in game number 3.
Sure, just me and you. Let's do it.
And then there's a little bit of a break. Obviously, Onyx are going through a serious gauntlet today of Dota games. They got through that best of 3 with Freedom, a scary best of 3 win 3 games, and then this upset best of 3 against MP, and now they have to face Cole. So a marathon of Dota.
A marathon of American-thon Dota.
The best Dota.
I feel like this is me.
Why? I feel like this is me. Except I don't think either of us have
Insert
like that.
white point caster. I love Dota.
American only. But I can't believe Onyx they actually just 2-0'd NP. Weren't NP the favorites coming into this whole tournament? No?
They were favorites coming into this region.
But you're forgetting about one of the greatest American Dota players ever.
Who?
Mason.
Oh my god. We could talk.
TI4 top 3 replacement for Fear Dota. Did you see his Lifestealer
Oh
game
my
1?
god. I thought I was the only one who saw it. Okay, so he is a TI3, a TI4 top 3 champion, Mason, and that first game, immaculate play on the Lifestealer. My god, you are correct, Charlie. Nervous going in for Onyx, like they're on a high, right? And it's good to be on kind of like, oh, Cloud9, we just won 4 games in a row. We're
Warmed
feeling
up.
good. But now you're playing against one of the most ruthless dictators in all the land, Swindle Melons. He is not going to let you do what just happened in that last
And he's
round.
been this whole day just like
Yeah.
watching replays, jotting down notes in that book we've seen, preparing for the Onyx draft.
There's just no way a draft.
I
like
wonder
that
if
happened.
Cole almost maybe got ahead of themselves and figured they'd be going against MP, and we're trying to like prep for MP, and now we're like, whoa,
Well,
scratch that.
Cole did say that they would prefer playing Onyx.
Okay.
Yep, which I think most teams probably would before today.
Right. I mean, I think even if you disregard the skill matchup between the two, I think NP naturally plays this very annoying sort of play style to go up against. You have to deal with a split push. You have to deal with whatever weird stuff Envy is going to do. It's it's very frustrating.
Very
hard
technical.
to plan against. Yeah.
It's hard to punish. MP rarely have holes in their game, but I feel like just in that
Mason
one
did
the
it.
draft.
Mason did it.
Yeah, man.
It really does just take one day, though, right? Like, they might have played bad yesterday, but they weren't eliminated. They come in today, they just win 2 series in a row. What's to say a third?
Well, I don't think anyone expected them to be there. I mean, at least I didn't, I must be honest.
Well, that's because you're European.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Mason.
So you expected the Onyx versus Complexity in finals?
No. Well, now I do.
Well, that's irrelevant.
Now I do.
I'm just saying that's why you did it.
True.
But I'm glad they're here. It's kind of a different situation. So I want to see what they can do against Complexity.
Yep, it's gonna be, I know in-house there's a lot of people love Onyx and love Complexity, so this is definitely the in-house favorite of the day.
It's weird to say. I thought someone posted a stat recently or something that Moo had been like a qualifier king. I don't know how many qualifiers recently he'd been able to kind of secure himself and his team at the time into, but if history repeats itself, I guess Cole can feel pretty good.
Wasn't that the really weird team where Archon like went undefeated through the qualifiers and qualified to
ESL New York?
No, it was a major.
It was TI 5?
No, it wasn't a TI.
Well, there wasn't Archon at a TI.
It wasn't Frank.
They were definitely in Seattle.
They were there. It wasn't that team. I don't know. I'll have to look it up later and let you know.
Either way, Swindle Melons is the original qualifier king.
He is. He
somehow makes it to almost
every final.
Every final, every LAN. People always count him out.
This is the first time we're not counting him out. Is that a bad thing?
I mean, who knows?
I really don't know. I'm glad for two things. I don't have to predict the next series.
No,
but
you
I'm also no, I'll be casting it.
Well,
thankfully.
You have to predict right now what you think's going to happen. We won't make you do anything.
No.
Just you don't.
I don't get to see the draft. That's not fair.
But who would you favor?
We're gonna cast.
We got to go in.
Oh,
we have been extremely privileged to be able to cast
They're
this
leaving
final.
right now. We're two-man paneling. For
Why?
The next
Because
20
it's finals, or
it's just
because
gonna
it's
be
with
me and Grant
both
talking.
Ahoy!
Ahoy! What are you guys doing? We're having a thing right now.
We're having a moment here.
Oh, you're having a thing. Okay, cool.
Well, me and Grant are basically the same person, right?
Yeah,
now.
we really are. Basically, Mason.
Well, guys, any final thoughts here? As mentioned before, there is going to be a little bit of an intermission. Onyx, obviously, you're going to need a breather after that ridiculous series and already a day of Dota. Not too long. I want to say
10 minutes-ish, 15?
10, 15. We'll keep our eyes on the draft and plan accordingly. There'll be one last panel. We'll be able to get Cap and Blitz probably in on the action. You guys will hang around.
Wait.
And like I said, we get to go to the caster booth.
Yeah, I need some time to adjust. It's so hot in here. Need to cool down.
Oh, I thought it was just you.
Oh,
Hey, yeah. Okay.
Oh, silly you.
What's wrong with you guys? It's humans.
Woo! All right, let's go before we have too much fun. We'll see you soon for the finals of the American Qualifier.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Kiev Major Qualifier Hub here, powered by Beyond the Summit. I'm Dakota, that's Lacoste, and this is the American Qualifier Finals. Team Onyx versus Complexity in one.
Well, hey there, didn't see you guys, but I saw the rest of these three panelists, and man, we have quite the game coming up for you today. Onyx versus Complexity. What are your guys' first initial reactions when I said that?
Complexity.
I was always on the Onyx train. I had to do punishments and shit just to support Bulba, so.
I'm with you. I did the same thing for Wheel. I got punished a lot more than you, let me tell you.
I also believed in Wheel, but that didn't work out.
Charlie, I've already heard what you had to say, but they haven't, so you should tell
Yeah,
them.
who are you backing?
I mean,
Initially.
personally, or like.
Yeah.
Who do you think, as an analyst, is going to win?
Complexity?
Because I don't think the viewers really give a shit about your personal feelings.
Wow.
They kind of do.
What the fuck?
I do. That was mean. Now let me drink some of this sweet Eric Donger juice. Well, that came out wrong. Never mind. Well, I was drinking the juice that Eric Dong drinks to win games, and okay, never mind.
Sure. All right, we have a draft.
Here's a draft, and wow, Onyx is. I love the Warlock, just as a hero right now. Just fits their playstyle.
It's the replacement Coddle, because there aren't a lot of heroes that just straight up win you lanes. But what we realized too on our Veggies run is Warlock is a boss. It wins you the lane and it secures your team fight.
Yeah. Super hard.
It's versatile enough that you're not like too focused in just one direction because it does scale pretty well.
Yep.
I think that's a really nice factor. It's always going to have more impact than any other support in the game, late game.
Now we've seen Shadow Fiend first picked a few. I think Freedom and Complexity do it the most, and I think a few times we've said we don't like it that much. Well, why do you pick Shadow Fiend first phase?
I think it's just a comfort hero for them, and more often than not, they feel like SF's mainstay as a mid hero has always been the fact that he's like the Mario of heroes. You know, where if you pick Mario in games, it's like there's no weaknesses.
No,
He's
that's
not like,
Juggernaut.
I think it's SF for mid laners.
I'm actually with
Okay.
with mid laners.
For mid laners, it's SF. 'Cause
Wait.
he doesn't really have that bad of a matchup
Dire side Shadow Fiend versus Earth Spirit's pretty bad matchup.
versus
Just
Earth.
rolling on
I
who's
guess.
rolling
Yeah.
on you. I know you're saying
If you're
I
dire
agree
side,
with you. I
if you're
agree.
dire side SF, a lot of things are hard though.
Yeah. No, you're right. And then they follow with the Dazzle. Dazzle's just been first pick, first phase. It's just simple here to play. And Abaddon, just why not? You're NA. You like playing it. It works out,
Do they
especially
have-
for Bulba.
Did they ever do SF on Dire?
I think
Every
they've
single
done
time.
it. I'm sure they've
do
done
SF
it.
on Dire as
somewhere,
well?
Yeah. It's just way easier, of course, on the Radiant side. Shrine placement's better. Tree placements are better. We see Ogre and Meepo ban. Complexity wants nothing to do with what happened last game.
I'm kind of surprised they banned Ogre because I thought it would fit into their lineup. Just because they have an SF already. Bloodlust has a lot of value there, and they need a bully 4 position. Unless they want Earth Spirit.
I think the problem though is if you take Ogre here, then you've hard lock. Those heroes cannot be anything else. Then you have Ogre Dazzle supports, and you lack any sort of disable. And you haven't seen anything else that Onyx has thrown so far. The Abaddon is going to be a hotly contested pick, of course, but you don't want to third pick Ogre and then give it for free to Onyx in the second set, and they still don't have to reveal too much.
Well,
Oof.
there we go. The Complexity
At least this time
Brewmaster.
around, it's not 747 Brewmaster.
Yeah.
Because
he farms more than he play makes.
Yeah,
I mean,
you want that guy to carry.
Exactly, that's what you want to do, and they did that. But they already have his hero, and Moo and Monkeys both play this hero, so you still haven't given away you've given away you have Brewmaster, which is a little bit telling, but you don't really know where he's going.
Are they just trying to ensure they beat out Onyx in teamfight? Because you have this big teamfight threat in Warlock, so they get an equal teamfight threat in Brewmaster. I don't really feel like most of the time I see the Brew, it's it's a counter to some teams had the idea it was a counter to Lone Druid or something like that. I don't really see it countering too much. Well, I guess you can Cyclone the Abaddon.
That's the plan, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, let's do that. And now we see Earth Spirit for Dubu. It had one rough game earlier today, but besides that, he's been playing it very well. This is pretty much the same lineup they had last game minus the Meepo, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they had a Jug.
Yeah. Juggernaut still in the pool. I would not doubt really either team taking it at this point.
Jug or Venge for either.
Yeah. Probably maybe one for the other, one for the next. Charlie, do you like Brewmaster as a hero?
I think I understand the concept that Complexity is going for here. One, like Cap mentioned, it's good against the Abaddon, and so it sort of breaks up those big team fights. I mean, Warlock drops ult, but Brewmaster doesn't really care about that. He doesn't care about a lot of those big ults because he jumps in, he splits, and then he can cycle one hero, go on another, pressure one of the supports with the Fire Panda. He does a lot to sort of break up those control-y teamfight heroes.
There you go, Disruptor. So two a little bit more defensive supports on Complexity, but now you have the catch of Disruptor. If you are winning a fight, just grab someone else, do that. So it looks like Onyx more wants to run at you, and Complexity more wants you to run at them.
I think it's a little bit of both. If Cole can start a fight with Disruptor onto something like the Warlock or the Abaddon, I think they'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
Because I think Disruptor, out of all the support heroes to play when you're behind, Disruptor is the worst. You just want to kill yourself because you're this hero that has all these abilities that don't synergize if your team's not ahead.
All you have is that ultimate, and you just hope you hit, and then they got BKBs, and you're as useless as all can be.
That kind of leads me to being more Brewmaster safe lane, because you have two pretty defensive supports. I really don't like Dazzle and Disruptor as a duo, and you do need to be aggressive. I don't think you can afford to have Brewmaster as an off lane too much. I think he just, he really needs a good start in the game if you're going to be playing aggressive. So I kind of would like to see them pick up a different off laner on Complexity because of that.
I think Onyx should take something like the Venge and aggro. Or
they do like giving Bulba a 1v1 matchup a lot.
Venge or Weaver and just go aggro. Because I think the weakness with Disruptor is he's such a shitty laner.
So you'd prefer Complexity to do an aggro tri-lane and have the Brewmaster solo?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you have to avoid this because right now, no matter what... So when Onyx shows this Weaver, they're showing right now, it has to be the Weaver or the Venge because they know that Disruptor's weakness has always been... He has a really crap laning phase, right? Because the only ability he has is Thunderstrike. He has no armor, no defensive capability. You aggro tri-lane that every single time. You at least aggro dual lane it because it's such a greedy support. You wanna level starve it like crazy. If you don't let him get pulls off, then you're gonna be playing against a level 2 Disruptor that actually has no purpose in the game anymore.
Yeah. So, are you favoring Onyx's draft currently until you see the last pick?
Yeah, but they could also just, because they have a Weaver, they could do dual lanes, and they could send Abaddon like Warlock bottom, and just straight up allow Mason to still farm. But I think doing this kind of setup and picking the Weaver allows them the option to do either.
Now, so Onyx looking for a mid hero, Complexity, we're assuming looking for maybe a tri-lane-ish hero. Could still be just straight up dual lanes, doesn't sound like it, but what do you think Abed wants versus Shadow Fiend? One of the normals, like a TA or even an Invoker? Anyone?
I feel Invoker a little bit more because of Dazzle.
Yeah. Then Axe Band out.
If you take TA though, the upside is you can Roshan really fast. They have a lot of ways to save him as well. I think you need a BKB carry. I like the Invoker because
Ember,
but
they decided for you.
Dang.
I didn't think they were going to go that route.
That is interesting. Well, why'd they pick Ember? What's the thought process behind that?
Because it beats SF late game.
Okay. But you still know your like complexity is going to pick another late game hero here, so that's what we assume they are.
I think Cole takes Jug here. It's a good hero against Ember.
And you can, I mean, you'll have Dazzle, Jug, Brewmaster, Shadow Fiend. Just, I mean, that's just good 5.
You're fine with Jug versus Weaver?
I'm not really, but I'm not sure if I take Venge versus Ember or Weaver either. And you need something to frontline with the SF. Like you don't have to be the main reason your hero wins the game as the one position.
So you're set on this Brewmaster off lane, and they're just picking up a different safe laner.
Yeah. Oh, it's Ursa.
That's definitely a frontline hero for you.
There you go. Yep.
It's not the best at being able to catch Weaver, but
So the biggest thing is like how they're going to lane this. Do you think we're going to see a lot of lane swapping or at the beginning? Well, hey there. We're back.
I think you put the Weaver. You make sure that the Weaver is one-on-one against the Ursa.
Just one-on-one. Okay. So that's what Onyx
You
wants.
aggro dual lane with Weaver Warlock.
Yeah, and then you could just swap the lane if you think it's not good. Because I think Abaddon 1v1 against Brew is okay, right?
yeah, you
Yeah.
easily win that matchup.
Yeah, so you're just trying to make sure that you orient the lane so that no matter what, you don't have the Abaddon against the Ursa. Because I think the Ursa does really well against Abaddon.
And then the Earth Spirit can also roam and kill the Disruptor pretty easily.
Yeah, exactly.
In which case, I think a complexity, their best option is putting Dazzle with Brewmaster at that top lane.
Yes.
There's no way they can tri-lane against this with the Disruptor being such a level-dependent support.
I don't think so either.
Sounds like it. So, well, we see the heroes on both sides. We'll start with you, Blitz. Who are you feeling?
I think after the 4th pick, I was pretty confident to... Like, no bias. Yesterday I was just kind of trolling.
Yeah.
But I think Onyx does have the better draft. I think
Okay.
they have like a good momentum. They won 4 games in a row. They're reading the game well, especially against NP. Like they've calmed down. I think they're outdrafting people right now. They've got a good groove. They're not reliant on so many heroes. I think it's Onyx.
All right, Cap.
Not particularly feeling the Brewmaster pickup. Maybe it's supposed to be this big counter to Abaddon, but I don't really like it. I don't think it provides the same things that Abaddon does, and I'm not sure if the Ursa is going to be enough against Weaver, so I'm going to go Onyx as well.
Okay, Charlie.
I'm going to be the third one here. I think this is a really hard game for the Ursa. He's just going to get kited all over the place. I think he's going to have a really hard time sticking on any one hero. The one hero he can maybe kill is the Warlock, but I don't think he's going to burst him down before he gets a rock off.
All right, so 3 for Onyx. Me, I'm looking at Cole. I'm wondering, like, I see the same thing. Onyx, like, I feel won the draft. I'm looking at Plexi. How do they win? You have Shadow Fiend played by 747. You don't really have a playmaker for Z-Freak. It's rough. I'm still going to pick him just because you third pick a Panda. You know what you're doing. You want to get something out of it. I don't know what he wants to get out of it, but I'm believing that
So you're
Swindle knows.
trusting in
I'm trusting in
Swindles.
Swindle, which
All
I think
right.
is a fair thing to do.
I think so too.
Okay, and on the back of that, we have 2 just lovely casters, Dakota Cox and Lacoste.
Was waiting for in NA. Dubu placed a deep ward inside enemy forest. We'll see if Melons finds out. Has 1 sentry to devour it. It's being pinged out actually near it.
It's a very intriguing spot. Not something you would normally expect to kind of see a ward pop up. So I am very curious to see if they're going to be able to find it. More traditional spot, of course, being like maybe right over here. Swindle was already kind of in that area ready to go, but let's see if Onyx are actually curious about rolling in and contesting this. Their level 1 fight is pretty fair. Dubu is actually getting ready to head across the river now and begin to head up.
Yeah, they're going in, but 7 seconds, 5. They're gonna get it.
Yeah, it looks like they will have the advantage in numbers on this one and be able to snag that up while up and up. So we're having.
They
want
wanna swap. Yeah, it's actually a tri lane on bottom for Onyx. I want to see the mid matchup. Okay, there's the Dazzle I was talking about. He's already harassing a bed. Shadow Fiend kind of destroys the lane after he gets level 3.
Oh no! What a misplay there! Abed brings the courier so close. He knew Z-Freak was on that side, but just I guess didn't realize he was going to be able to get those kind of shots in. Courier goes down nice and early here. Big start for Cole.
Yeah, we were TPing top already. They want to swap the lanes. They don't want to have a Baron against solo Ursa.
You boost straight up to the top lane now as Onyx are also making their appropriate adjustments. Bulba did the bottom now. He will join Demon in the meantime here. So they're back and forth. We'll see if Cole will feel the need to respond once again or if they'll just settle with the way things are.
I want to see if Ursa wants to TP. He probably should.
Yeah, for now, just kind of